Right, guys. Now, everyone, please focus. Everyone, please focus, guys. Problem. Problem. Keeping multiple logics. Keeping multiple logics in single Java class. In single Java class is bad practice. Are you listening my statement, guys? Is bad practice. Understanding my statement? Because it makes the code as clumsy code. Clumsy code without having clean separation between logics. Without having clean separation between logics. Understanding my point there? Okay. It's like bachelor room. It's like what, guys? Bachelor single room. Understanding my point, guys? It's like what? Bachelor single room. Everything will be mixed up or not? That itself bedroom, that itself kitchen, that itself, come on. Kitchen, that itself eating room, that itself study room, that itself dining area. So it's everything is mixed up, right? Okay. So what is the solution, guys? Solution. Develop the application as the layered application which makes the programmer to keep different logics in different sets of classes. Different sets of classes. Different sets of classes, and making them talking with each other, and making them talking with each other. Understanding my point? It's like what, guys? It's like 3 BHK, 4 BHK, everything clearly there. Bedroom separate, hall separate, kitchen separate, drawing room separate. Are you getting my point? It's like 3 BHK or 4 BHK. Yeah, in one layer there can be what? One logic, one class, or sets of related classes. But each layer represents what, guys? One specific logic. Are you listening my statement? Each layer of layered application represents specific logics, specific type of logics having either one class or set of related classes. What guys? Set of related classes. Each layer of layered application represents what? Specific type of logics. Specific type of logics having either one class or set of related classes, guys. Are you listening? My statement was okay. Right. Now standalone layered application. Typical standalone layer application looks like this, guys. Anywhere. Here is client application, boss. Here is controller class, guys. Here is my service class, guys. Here is my DAO class, guys. Data access object, boss. Here is my DAO class, guys. Here is my database software. Here is my database software. Now this data source, this DAO internally uses what? Data source also. This DAO also uses what, guys? Data source. Again, this data source talks with database software. So DAO talks to database software through data source also. Connectivity with the database software will happen, boss. The connectivity with the database software will happen. Come on. Okay. Data source is required only to get the connection object. But after getting connection object, okay, DAO will have persistence logic to perform CORD operations. Persistence logic to perform CORD operation. Are you listening my statement, guys? Okay, using data source, what we get? Connection. Here also what we get? Connection. Okay, then this is for what purpose? CORD operations. This is for what purpose, guys? CORD operation. Now listen, client application contains what? UI logics, presentation logic, UI logics oblique presentation logics. Next, controller contains what? Monitoring or controlling logics. Controlling logics. Yes. Service class contains what? Service logic. Service logics are business logics. DAO contains what, guys? Persistence logics. DAO contains persistence logics. Understanding my statement, guys? What is the theory of this? 1 per DB table or 1 per related DB tables. 1 per DB table, tell me, for less than 100 DB tables. Okay, guys. 1 per related DB tables. Are you listening my statement? For greater than 100 DB tables. Understanding my statement, guys? This is 1 per DB table. If DB tables count is less than 100. If DB tables count is less than 100, tables in project. Tables in project. Yes, guys, this is one theory. Okay, next, service class is always what? 1 per module. 1 per module. This is always what? 1 per project. Controller class is one per project. Okay, client application as needed. We can take the client applications as needed. This is standalone layered application, boss. Okay, data source also generally we take one per database software. One per database software. Are you listening my statement, boss? Okay. This is standalone layered application. Web-based layered application. Layered application. Web-based layered application. If it is a web application environment, layered application, what is the story? Just a minute. Client, controller, service class, DAO class, data source. Here is my this one. Okay. Nitin, I'm giving clearly taking one DAO per table. Okay. If tables count is less than 100, Nitin, you have to improve your concentration level, my dear. One per module means one. For one for entire module, one service class. Controller means one per project means for entire project, one controller. Nitin, last warning I am giving. Not listening, repeating same statement again, not entertained in my classroom. If you see Java, .NET, all these are secondary in my classes, guys. Okay, common sense is most important. Without common sense, don't sit in front of camera. Dirty fellows. Here I am talking about DAOs. If tables count is less than 100, one per DB table. If tables count is what? More than 100 tables, then what? One per one DAO for related DB tables. All these points are with respect to DAO, my dears. All these points are with respect to DAO. This is with respect to service class. This is with respect to this one. Okay. Don't behave like a LKG, UKG students. Okay. Understanding my statement. If tables count is more than 100 was, so yeah, see more DAOs will come if you start taking one DAO for each table. That's why they will take what? One per related DB tables. Okay, I will give those things again. How many they will ask? One per related DB table. For 4 or 5 related DB tables, we will be taking one DAO class. Understanding my point? That means 4 or 5 tables related all persistence operations will be taken care in what? Single DAO class. Got the point or not? Okay, fine. Shabazz, without knowing what is project, what is modules, you have become software engineer, boss. And this, guys, what's happening? You are learning Spring Boot or Core Java na? Why are you behaving like this? Without knowing what is project, what is module, you have become software engineer. I'm doubting your knowledge. Now someone is asking what is module, what is project. Great guys. Want to listen from me. Shaba, stop throwing biscuits. Stop throwing biscuits. Okay. Agree your statement. Agree your knowledge. Want to listen from me. Okay. Now listen. Project contains modules. Project contains modules. Okay. Modules contain applications. Applications contain programs. Okay. Programs contain instructions. I mean to say statements are instructions. Statements are instructions. Shame on those people who don't know this one and came to Spring Boot. Okay, guys. Now listen carefully. Listen carefully. You take university project. You take university project. Now tell me. Okay, counseling is one module. All logics related to all these are logical partitions only. Nothing is physical partition. You cannot say one package means one module. No, 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 no. One module may have 4 or 5 packages. All these are logical partitions only. That's it. Okay. Fine. And moreover, in while teaching microservices, while teaching what microservices, I talked. I really talked. How that will be developed in a normal monolithic project, how that will be developed again in a microservice project. That time also I talked about what is module, right? Okay, counseling, all logics related to, all logics, persistence logic, business logic, everything will be there. All classes will be together. We call it as what? Counseling. Next, academics, conducting classes, guys. Conducting classes, deciding the syllabus, adding syllabus, removing syllabus, okay, adding new batch, deleting batch, those things, boss. Okay, that is academics is one module. Next, sports and cultural activities. Sports and cultural activities is called one module. Come on. Next, finance. Finance means all accounts related things, guys. Finance is one module. Examinations, university should take care of what? Examinations is one module. Next one, placements. Nowadays, every university is having separate department called what? Placements. So inside the next one, payroll management. Here all employees related information will be maintained, guys. Payroll management. I hope you are understanding my statement, guys. Okay. When I please stop thinking about Spring REST controller. I am talking about normal controller in MVC application. When I say controller, stop thinking about REST controller. In standalone application, why are you thinking REST controller are dirty fellows? In standalone application, why are you bringing web application discussion? Okay, why are you bringing RESTful web services into picture? Come on, guys. No common sense, Mr. Vinay. What is this layered? Standalone. Are you listening? Standalone. What's happening, guys? Saturday effecta or manufacturing defecta? Why are you behaving like this? Okay. Counseling. And etc. So many things will be there, boss. So many things will be there. Are you listening my statement? Okay. And now focus on web-based layered application now. Web-based layered application now. It's a web-based. Now listen carefully. HTML or JSP or UI component, some other UI, some other UI page, here we are having front controller. What controller, guys? Front controller. There you will be having, come on, guys, front controller servlet. Front controller servlet. There you will be having controller or handler. Controller or handler. Come on. there will be having, this is only web application. Don't think about distributed application here, boss. Please don't never think about distributed application. It's a purely web application story. It's a purely web application story. What is this? Controller or handler class. Okay, guys. Next, here we'll be having service class. You'll be having DAO class. Then you'll be having database software. Okay, as usually, DAO takes the support of data source. DAO takes the support of what? Data source. And data source also talks to database software, but only towards getting connection object. Are you getting my point, guys? Okay. Yes, boss. Yes. Here what you will get? Connection. This connection will be taken here. So this will take care of code operations. This will take care of code operations. Now listen. Okay, next. UI contains what, guys? Presentation logic. Presentation logics. Okay. This is UI presentation logics. Next, front controller contains what? Monitoring logics. Monitoring logics plus system services, mandatory system services that should be applied on multiple requests like logging, auditing, security, web level security, all these things, system services will be there. Monitoring logics plus system services will be there. Monitoring logic or controlling logic. Front controller. Generally, if you work with any framework, it's a ready-made servlet, guys. In Spring MVC kind of environment, it is a dispatcher servlet. Come on. Next, what it contains? Delegation logic. What logic, guys? Delegation logics. Delegation logic, then exception handling. Exception handling. Exception, I think I will go for like this. Delegation handling and error pages configuration. For what exception, what error page should be displayed. What do you mean by delegation logic? It takes a request and passes to appropriate service class. Are service classes are one per module now, boss? Which request should go to which service class is decided by whom? This one. Are you listening? And if any exceptions raised, they will be propagated up to controller. It will decide the error page. For which problem, which error page should be displayed, which JSP should be displayed as error page, which UI page should be displayed having those error messages will be decided by this controller or handler class, guys. Come on. Next, business logic. Now listen, this controller is different, this controller is different. It is standalone environment controller. It is different. Standalone environment. Okay. This is web environment controller. So both are different. Please don't give same treatment for both controllers. This is one per project. This is not one per project. This is generally one per module, boss. Like service class, this is one per module. Got the point or not? Yes. Business logic, and this contains what? Persistence logic. No, I am introducing this one. Otherwise, people are thinking in rest level. So my humble request to everyone is keep your half knowledge aside. Please hand over your empty brain to me. Stop thinking about RESTful web services until I introduce Spring REST. If you have any any knowledge related to Spring Boot, Spring REST, microservices, please don't bring into picture, don't confuse yourself, and don't irritate me in the chat box. Clear, guys? And before asking, see the title. Please keep the title, because you know one architecture and you always think about that architecture. But I know lots of architectures. I have to give architecture with respect to standalone environment, with respect to web application environment, with respect to distributed application environment, with respect to web application come distributed application environment. Are you listening? With respect to web application come distributed application environment. Only Flipkart architecture I should give, Flipkart plus GPay architecture I should give. At the same time, desktop gaming, supermarket, which is specific to one store, come on, that architecture also I should give. Because for me, all types of application development is very important, right? So that's why if you have a little knowledge about Spring Boot earlier, little knowledge about Spring REST earlier, wipe it off. At least for every day, 1.5 hour to 1 hour 40 minutes, you assume that you are sitting in the classroom without having any Spring Boot knowledge and Spring REST knowledge. Because when I ask question, when you ask questions about future topics, I will get the BP like anything. When you try to use your talent by bringing future topics into picture, because I believe in incremental way of injecting subject, boss. Today point 1, today tomorrow point 2, after 2 days point 4. All of a sudden, if you ask a question about 15th point, 16th point, number one headache is when I answer, everyone won't feel comfortable. Number two headache is that gives me discomfort also. If you have such question, ask me at the end. Or okay, guys. J Ravi, just now I said supermarket application, desktop gaming. All these are not standalone applications. Example, supermarket application, guys. Desktop gaming. Yes, they can be developed as what? Standalone. Okay. Next. Here, web applications. It's a only web application, no distributed parties involved, guys. Flipkart.com, Citibank.com, only web parties involved. Okay. Still, it is not talking to any distributed application environment. Citibank.com, only banking related information. LIC.com and etc. Yes. But I will give architecture related to distributed environment, web plus distributed environment later. Okay. So our main focus for few days is, until I introduce Spring MVC, is standalone layered application only. What application, guys? Standalone layered application. So now let me talk few things about data source, guys. Few things about data source. Before talking about data source, today I will prepare necessary background, guys. Acha, 1 minute. Before going further, I have to do one thing. I have to do one thing for you people, guys. Okay, guys. Now listen. DAO, same as above. When I say same as above, this story is same as above, boss. That's what my meaning is. This story is there, na? This is same as above. Right, boss. Yes. Next one. Service class. One per module. One per module. Late. Controller class. One per module. Controller class is also generally one per module, guys. Next. This is one per project. One per project. Okay. Next. One per project. Next one, as needed. as needed. There is no restriction on this count, guys. As needed. Okay, boss. As needed. Okay, now let's come back to JDBC connection pool. It is a factory that contains set of readily available JDBC connection objects before actually being used. It's a factory that contains set of readily available JDBC connection objects before actually being used. Okay. Now listen. Data source object. Data source object represents JDBC connection pool and acts as entry point for connection pool. Entry point for JDBC connection pool. That means all the connection objects from the JDBC connection pool can be gathered and can be returned only through data source object. Only through data source object. Are you listening my statement, guys? This is data source object. This is what? JDBC connection pool. Yes, guys. Here is my data source object. Here is my JDBC connection pool. Yes. This contains set of readily available JDBC connection object. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Here is my con. 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 Right. So here is my data source object representing JDBC connection. Represents JDBC connection. Now tell me if you want to get one connection object from connection pool. Okay, let us assume DS. DS is nothing but data source object, guys. Okay, to get one connection object from JDBC connection pool. Tell me, guys, what is the method I should call? Connection con is equal to ds dot get connection. Agree with me, boss? ds dot get connection. Now listen. To release connection object back to JDBC connection pool. What is the method we should call, guys? Con dot close. If you call con dot close, connection object will be released back to connection pool. Array pool means set of readily available same items. Come on, it gives the reusability of same items or not? Tell me. JDBC connection pool advantages, guys. What are the advantages of JDBC connection pool? You might have studied a number of places. Okay, number one, reusability of JDBC connection objects. A lot of ready-made connection objects are there. Multiple requests that are coming to one web application, or multiple web applications, or multiple standalone application can use these connection objects. Or not simultaneously or concurrently. Once work is over, they will release the connection object back to connection pool. Are you listening, boss? Reusability of JDBC connection pool. Sonu Gupta, advantages of connection pool is not why to use connection pool, dirty fellow. Okay, reusability of JDBC connection objects. Right. Suppose, okay, reusability of JDBC connection objects. Right, boss. Number two, with minimum JDBC connection objects, we can make maximum applications. Applications are requests talking to database software. We can make, come on guys, we can make maximum applications or requests talking to database software. Next one is what? Closing JDBC connection objects, managing JDBC connection objects. Okay, managing connection objects, deleting idle connection objects. Come on, idle JDBC connection objects will be taken care by, come on, will be taken care by JDBC connection pool itself. Programmer will take care of connection. These things will be taken care by connection pool itself. You are least bothered. Whenever need is there, everything will be taken care. Are you getting my point? Okay, maybe closing we can do manually. If needed, you can. Managing JDBC connection object, deleting idle JDBC connection objects. Okay, creating new JDBC connection objects. Deleting what? Idle JDBC connection objects will be taken care by JDBC connection pool itself. We are least bothered about doing those things manually. Okay, just think about one small classroom and chairs, guys. Okay, one classroom is there having 500 members capacity. One classroom is there having 500 members capacity. Okay, management has kept 500 chairs in the classroom. Now tell me guys, per day 7 batches will happen in that classroom. Okay, tell me 500 chairs are used by one time or 7 times. One time or 7 times. 7 times. That means each chair is used by 7 students each day, right? So that means reusability of chair is there or not. Next, number 1. Management asked every student to bring their own chair. Then tell me how many chairs are required? 7 batches in a day, each batch 500 members. Come on, 3,500 chairs are required. Come on, guys. But what's happening? But that is not actual practical case. What is practical case? Management just arranging 500 chairs but giving service to 3,500 students. That means with the minimum chairs, we are making maximum students attending class or not. Come on. Next. Next, guys. Next one. Purchasing new chairs when more students are there. Removing chairs from the classroom and keeping in storeroom when less students are there. Managing the chairs, cleaning those chairs. Everything is done by student or done by management people. Done by admin people. Done by employees of organization. So as a student, are you bothered? You are just busy utilizing the chairs, right? You are just busy utilizing the chairs. Are you listening my statement, guys? Okay. So just think about that. Just think about that. Note. All JDBC connection objects in JDBC connection pool represents connectivity with same database software. Always remember, don't ever expect this connection for Oracle, this connection for MySQL. No. First connection object for Oracle, all remaining objects also represent connectivity with what? Oracle only. Then what should I do, sir? You create multiple connection pool pointed by multiple data source object. One connection pool for MySQL, one connection pool for Oracle. Are you getting my point? Example, JDBC connection pool for Oracle means all the JDBC connection objects in the JDBC connection pool represents connectivity with the same Oracle database software. Oracle database software. Are you listening my statement, guys? Okay. Yeah, different types of JDBC connection objects. Different types of JDBC connection objects. Tell me, guys, how many types of JDBC connection objects are there, my dear? Two types are there. One is direct JDBC connection. Direct JDBC connection. Number two, pooled JDBC connection. Pooled JDBC connection. What do you mean by direct JDBC connection? Created by the programmer manually. As alternate to that only, we got pooled connections, guys. Come on. Created by the programmer manually. Created by the programmer manually. What is that? Example. In JDBC classes, you might have written class dot for name connection con is equal to drive. You might have studied all these things in your advanced Java courses, right? I'm just putting one more time here so that I can bring to my point. Yes, this is a direct connection object, guys. This is called direct JDBC connection object. What do you say, guys? Direct JDBC connection object. Yes. Now tell me, guys. Collected from JDBC connection pool. Collected from JDBC connection pool. Connection pool through data source object. Through what object, guys? Data source object. What is the example here? Connection con is equal to, I'm assuming DS means data source. DS dot get connection. Connection con is equal to DS dot get connection. Convinced, my dear? Yeah, this con is what? Pooled JDBC connection object, guys. This is called pooled JDBC connection object. This is a direct JDBC connection object. This is what? Pooled JDBC connection object. Are you comfortable with me? Right, boss. Now tell me. Different types of JDBC connection pools. Different types of JDBC connection pools. Yes, we have two types of JDBC connection pools, guys. Number one, standalone JDBC connection pool. Standalone JDBC connection pool. No doubt connection JDBC pooled connection is best, boss. Industry always prefers working with a pooled connection. Okay, they are coming from JDBC connection pool. How many types of connection pools are there? Number one, standalone JDBC connection pool. Next, number two, server managed JDBC connection pool. Server managed JDBC connection pool. Okay, guys. Suitable in standalone applications. Suitable in standalone applications. Come on, guys. Example, Apache DBCP. Next, C3P0. I'm not scolding anyone. We have a lot of third-party people have given, guys. But best in the market as on today is Hikari CP. Hikari CP is the best in standalone performance-wise. Performance-wise, this is best. Entire industry is crazy about Hikari CP, boss. And luckily, Spring Boot is giving Hikari CP as built-in connection pool. Built-in connection pool while working with what? Auto configuration through Spring Boot starter JDBC starter is there now. If you add that starter, you will get Hikari connection pool as a built-in one. That's a good news, right, boss? Next one, Apache DBCP C3P0 Proxul. Next, Proxul. Now listen, guys. Spring supplied JDBC connection pool. Spring also supplying its own JDBC connection pool, guys. Spring is also coming with its own connection pool. You might have studied like driver manager data source, right? Driver manager data source, single connection data source. These are the classes that Spring is having, providing built-in connection pools, guys. Providing built-in connection pools. Both are bad, both are good only in testing environment, not in real environment. Okay, Hibernate supplied built-in JDBC connection pool. If you are working with Hibernate is also giving its own JDBC connection pool, guys. Hibernate is also providing its own JDBC connection pool. Are you listening my statement? But even though these many are there, the best is what? Hikari CP. Market leader is what? Hikari CP. In standalone application, better to work with Hikari CP. You are not believing me, huh? Okay. Only for testing, only for testing. This is also only for testing. Okay, when you are testing project within the company, fine. But when you go for real production environment, real release of the project, so prefer using with what? Hikari CP. Okay, these are given by third-party vendors, guys. All these are given by third-party vendors. Not Spring people, not Hibernate people, not Java people. Given by third-party vendors. Given by third party. In that one, Hikari CP is the best one. Okay, let me prove that Spring supplied built-in JDBC connection pool is bad. Let me prove that, guys. Driver manager data source. Driver manager data source. Come on. Driver manager data source. Simple implementation of data source interface. Configuring JDBC or plain old JDBC driver via properties and returning new connection object for every get connection call. How bad it is, you observe. You call get connection for 100 times. It creates 100 connection object. Are a pool should think about creating and returning new connection object every time, or pool should think about what reusing existing connection objects. But what it is saying, guys? What it is saying, guys? Come on. It is saying that no reusability. I will return new connection object every time. How bad it is, right? It looks like a connection pool, but the connection pool advantages are not there. It's not me. It's they are deciding. Check it out. This is not an this is not an actual connection pool. It does not actually pool connections. It just serves as a simple replacement for what? Full blown connection pool, implementing same standard interface, but creating new connections on every call. Creating new connection on every call. Are you listening my statement? Okay, now listen. Proved or not proved, documentation proof has come or not? Documentation proof has come or not? Are you listening my statement, boss? Now listen. This driver manager data source was originally designed alongside Apache DBCP C3P0 featuring bean style basic data source. That means it is designed alternate to this. Listen, for modern JDBC connection pool, consider Hikari CP instead of exposing corresponding Hikari data source instance to the application. They only giving solution for modern JDBC connection pool. Consider Hikari CP. Consider Hikari CP. Okay, I will tell one small story regarding this documentation, guys. Okay, one of our student 2 or 3 years back gone to interview. He completed interview nicely. Though his communication skills are very bad, somehow you manage it to complete interview, because technical interview na communication skills are not that much required. Don't to think much about your English, because it's a technical interview, right? If you can express, that is enough. But anyhow, that is a small scale company, guys. By seeing this person's English, they didn't get the confidence. And that too, this guy is a BSc graduate. This guy is a BSc graduate, okay, showing gap as experience. That means shown experience, but by listening English, they are doubting him. By seeing qualification, by listening English, they are doubting though subject is good. So that's why they said, we conduct system test for you. We conduct what test, guys? System test for you. Are you listen? One small task is given to perform code operations. To perform code operation in a standalone environment, not web application, standalone layered application they have given. Some code operations based one. Okay. So in that system, internet connection is not there, but Spring software is given. Okay, this fellow called corresponding person. I need internet connection. They said, okay, net connection is not there, but we have kept Spring software. Please utilize that one. Whatever jars are required, we downloaded, we kept in the certain folder. Okay, this is the folder, collect the jars. After seeing the folders and jar, again he asked, I need internet connection. They asked why. They asked why. Okay, industry standard JDBC connection pool is Hikari CP. Okay, or at least Apache DBCP. You are not providing those jars along with the Spring framework, we won't get them. So I want to download and add. Please provide net connection. Since this fellow insisting, they provided and downloaded and completed the task. And you don't believe, okay, that company was seriously using driver manager data source in the real project, which is there in the development and testing phase. Which is seriously there in the development and testing phase. Okay. So now listen carefully. When this guy insisted, I need internet connection, I want to work with Hikari RECP. Then argument happened between that representative and this guy. Okay, array driver manager data source is there now. Why are you not using? Okay, that time after getting internet connection, our students shown in the documentation itself, they have shown it is not a connection pool. Don't use it. Then how can I use that? Too, I'm submitting task for the first time to the company. Okay, somehow that fellow convinced, given internet connection, download. He has used Ikari CP and submitted the project. Okay, selected, and day one will be there na in the company, and this fellow has to. This fellow has to introduce this fellow should be introduced to the team. Okay, while introducing to the team, the TLR project leader publicly announced. Earlier, we used to work with the driver manager data source in our application. Okay, now because of this fellow only from last 2 days, we are changed to what? Hikari CP. What a grand welcome for that one. What a grand welcome, and expectations are increased on this fellow. So that is the power of this documentation proof, guys. That is the power of this documentation proof. Nowadays, most of the small and medium scale companies are conducting system test. Be mentally prepared. When you are developing system test, please try to use the best. Try to use the best. Are you listening my statement, guys? Okay. Yes, guys, this is point one, this is point two. Okay. Point one, point two. And again, I want to give this one, boss. Again, I want to give this one. Where I'm pasting, I think I'm pasting in a wrong place. Huh? Okay. Cut it. This is, remove it. This is our thing. Yes, driver manager data source. And this is paste. Not there, no problem. Once again, I'll copy. I'll paste it. Black color, let me highlight this point. Let me highlight this point for modern JDBC connection pool. Consider using Ikari CP. Clear, guys? Let's come back. So now onwards in standalone application, what you prefer? Driver manager data source or single connection data source or Hibernate supplied built-in connection pools? No. We should think about working with Hikari CP, though it is given by third party. Though it is given by third party, it's a free, boss. That's a good news. Yes. Suitable in the applications that are deployable in the servers. Okay, Tarun, I'm removing you from the meeting because we are keep on switching on the camera. Tata, bye-bye. Yeah, today onwards, strict decision, guys. If anyone switches on the camera, they will not be warned to switch off the camera. They will be removed directly. Initial days, you can say by mistake happened, but every day you cannot say same reason. Suitable in the application that are deployable in the servers. Okay, what kind of applications, guys? Web applications, RESTful applications. Both these are deployable in the servers, guys. Not all distributed applications. Soap-based applications are not that much deployable, guys. EasyAB applications are not that much deployable. Are you listening my statement? So web applications and RESTful applications, okay, that are deployable in the servers. That are deployable in the servers. Example, okay. Chandan, if you sleep, you won't understand. If you are active, you'll understand. I keep on saying 3 times I have given statement. Hikari CP is best because of its performance. Hikari CP is best, it's because of performance. Including these 2 statements, it is the 6th time I have given that statement. Okay. So now you judge yourself where you are listening class. Which donkeys you are catching while explaining that point. You only judge yourself. Okay. Deployable in the server. Example, WebLogic managed JDBC connection pool. Tomcat managed JDBC connection pool. Glassfish managed. Now best server is Wildfly, guys. Wildfly server is the best in the market. Managed JDBC connection pool and etc. And etc. Note, if one application wants to talk with more than one database software, then we need to take more than one data source objects representing more than one JDBC connection pools. Are you understanding my point, guys? Okay, guys. More than one JDBC connection pool. One database, one connection pool. 2 databases, 2 connection pools. I think you convinced all this stuff, guys. Okay, now listen. This is very, very important, guys. Any data source object is the object of Java class. Implementing the common javax.sql.data source interface. What, guys? javax.sql.data source interface. Are you listening my statement, my dear? Any data source object is the object of a class implementing the common javax.sql.data source interface. Are you listening my statement, boss? Okay, now listen. Data source JDBC connection pool. It's a data source class name. And all those data sources classes implements common interface. What is that common interface? javax.sql.data source interface. Are you listening my statement, guys? Okay, for example, C3P0 package dot some package, I'm not giving the package name, some package dot basic. Okay, C3P0 P30 C3P0 data source, guys. This is a class. Next, Apache DBCP. Some package dot basic data source. Next one, proxul package dot proxul data source. Proxul data source. Yeah, listen, don't ignore. Why are you bothered about those class names? I will explain. When I link, you will enjoy like anything. Proxul data source. What guys? Proxul data source. Right. Now I understood how people are listening classes, how seriously they are listening. Now I understood why people are asking same question and again. Okay, मुझे पता चल गया. Fine. So मुझे पता चल गया. Now ask doubts. Ask same topic doubt again and again. अभी मैं बोलता हूँ. Right? No, I. Fine. Okay, guys. What is next? Hikari CP. Hikari CP. You didn't see anything in the camera? Okay. Because people are seriously sleeping in front of cameras, boss. Just now I have shown in the camera. Yeah, what is this? Hikari data source. What is that? Hikari data source. Understanding my point, sir? Okay. Right. Okay, someone is asking, please speak in English, Hindi like this once in a while. Sorry, I cannot speak technical things in Hindi. Why? Because I have international students attending from Germany, UK, USA, from different parts of place. And Yasminan is there. He's saying I am from Kerala, Malayalam. So it's practically impossible to speak in one language, right? Okay. So please, North Indians, improve your skills. Hikari CP, Hikari data source, and etc. boss. And etc. Now listen carefully, boss. All these classes. Okay. Now listen. All these classes implements. Okay. All these classes implements the common Java X dot SQL dot data source interface. Are you listening my statement, guys? Okay. Sir, why are you asking this one? Can I ask one small oops question? Can I refer any one of these class object by using data source interface reference variable? Possible or not possible? Possible or not possible? Definitely possible. Okay. Now listen. In DAO class, I have to inject a basic data source object. After 2 years, I decided to work with Hikari data source because that time it was latest. 4 years back, Apache DBCP was doing well. That's why I decided to inject a basic data source object in the DAO. But no guarantee forever it will be best. After few years, it may change. I may change to Hikari data source. I may change to Proxul data source. So while taking property in DAO class, better to take property of type basic data source, property of type Hikari data source, property of type data source interface. Property of type basic data source, property of type Hikari data source, property of type data source interface. If you cannot type everything A, B, C, type your word, type your letter. Property of type data source interface is good or not? Loose coupling. Strategy design pattern rule number 2. Code to interfaces, never code to concrete classes and implementations. Remembered? Now you understood why I am talking these many things here. Okay, I want to tell that All these things will implementing common interface, so that in DAO class, whenever we need data source object as a dependent object, we can take data source type interface or not, reference variable or not, data source interface type property or not. Okay, guys. Now listen carefully. Listen carefully. Suppose I am having standalone application or web application. If I think in Spring perspective, guys, can I take data source as dependent to DAO? Come on. DAO as the dependent to service. Service as dependent to controller. Come on, guys. Service as dependent to controller. Okay, now here data source is dependent to DAO. DAO is dependent to service. Service is dependent to controller. Spring level. So our controller can also be made as dependent to client. Or if controller is dependent to client, where you create IOC container, where you write ctx.getBean method code. That's why in a client I will write what? Getting IOC container and calling ctx.getBean method. Come on. In the client application, I will try to write what? Getting IOC container and calling ctx.getBean method, having controller bean ID. So that controller class object will come. Now I am giving touch of Spring Boss. I hope you noticed, boss. Data source can be configured as a dependent bean to DAO class. DAO can be dependent to service class. Service can be injected to controller. Now I'm bringing Spring into picture. So far, you might have seen small, silly examples of injection. But today I'm talking about real-time dependency injection, guys. In real time, where did you use dependency injection? Okay, any project, any domain, common answer. What is that? My project is layered application. My project is layered application. What application? Layered application. That's why I preferred. Okay, there I have got layers like client, controller, service, DAO, data source. This kind of layers are there. So if I talk in Spring perspective, what can I do? What can I do? Data source can be injected to DAO. DAO can be injected to service. Service can be injected to controller. And controller object can be gathered in client application by calling ctx.getBean method. Okay, now listen. Look at the DAO story, guys. It is targeted to data source, dependent to service. Look at the service, guys. Targeted to DAO and dependent to controller. I hope no one is going to ask the question, what is DAO? Data access object class. What class, guys? Data access object class. The class that separate persistence logics from other logics. Right, boss. Okay. Now I'm giving touch of Spring, my dear. What the hell you are doing, sir? I'm cutting, which is in zigzag format. I'm cutting it, which is in zigzag format. Yes, boss. Now listen. While developing the above application in Spring or Spring Boot environment, come on, we can perform DS injection too. Are those who are attending Spring MVC classes? Okay. Listen, guys, listen. I'm giving one offer to you people, one bumper offer to you people. If you have an urgency of learning Spring MVC, urgency is there. Okay. Contact admin. Admin will provide one meeting ID, evening for one batch. Okay, Spring MVC is going on. Their Spring Boot MVC also will be taught, guys. Their Spring Boot MVC also will be taught, guys. Are you listening? Urgency is there, then come. Otherwise, don't come. But servlet JSPs are prerequisite. Okay, sorry, I'm informing bit lately. Okay, I think I'll ask admin to provide 1-2 backup classes videos also to you people. 6 p.m. guys. 6 p.m. Don't write here. Urgency is there, contact admin. Because instead of, because we have a 500 members capacity, boss, I think 250, 300 students are attending. Okay, fee is not required. Part of this course, you can attend there. Part of this course, you can attend there. Spring MVC is part of this course that is there. It's Monday to Saturday. Today evening also class is there. DS can be injected. Not everyone, only those people who are having urgency. DS can be injected. Data source can be injected. Okay. Injected to DAO class. Data source is dependent. Data source can be taken as dependent Spring Bean 2. Dependent Spring Bean 2. Yeah, duration 30 to 40 sessions I will take, boss. Already 3-4 sessions are over. Request admin to provide backup videos also if possible. Otherwise, read the documents, you will get it. Okay. Data source can be taken as dependent to Spring Bean. Dependent Spring Bean to DAO Spring Bean. DAO Spring Bean. Right, guys. Okay, guys. Right. Next one, guys. What is this? DAO. DAO can be injected to. 1 minute. Data source object. DAO object can be injected to service class. Service class object. Service class object. Now tell me here. Tell me. DAO class can be taken as dependent Spring Bean to service class target Spring Bean. DAO class target Spring Bean. DAO class target Spring Bean. Are you listening my statement, boss? Right. Next one. Service object. Service class object. Come on. Service class object. Service class object can be injected to controller class object. Are you understanding my statement? Okay, boss. Okay. Tell me, guys. Service class can be taken as dependent Spring Bean to controller class. Controller class. Target Spring Bean. Yes, boss. Lastly, what is there? Client application. Client application can create or get IOC container and can use ctx.getBean method. What method, guys? Method to get controller class object. And can use ctx.getBean method to get controller class object. and to invoke the business methods. To invoke the business methods. Are you comfortable, guys? Can create target IOC container, can use CTX dot to get controller class object. I hope I linked with Spring. At the end, I linked with Spring. I hope you realized that. Mini project, background preparation itself takes 1-2 days, guys. Then coding starts. This is exact way of learning mini project. Understanding my point? Yes, I said now for every 10-15 days, one or other mini project I will give, covering all the things that we learned so far. And whatever dependency injection we learned, whatever fundamentals we learned so far, covering that one mini project. And in this project, I am also going to teach what is auto configuration practically. What is auto configuration practically? Okay, next class is on Monday. Next class is on what? Monday. Are you listening? Where a lot of background preparation will happen and coding will start. But come to that class with maturity. And my humble request to you people is, I will give one more thing to upgrade on your own. Go to Naresh IT YouTube channel, guys. Naresh IT YouTube channel, guys. Yes, boss. Come here. Java Bean by Natraz. Java Bean by Natraz. Java Bean and its utilization in real time. Java Bean, its utilization by real time. Are you listening? Okay. First, everyone, please focus. You have to reach Java Bean videos. Everyone studied Lambda API, guys. See, I need some cooperation from you people. All these are common miscellaneous topic. They are not main subject, right? So that's why I'm asking to watch videos. I need your cooperation. Otherwise, I have to teach 1 year. If I start teaching this kind of small concepts in the classroom, it may take 1 year. Lambak, you enjoyed? I think goosebumps might have come the way I presented Lambak. Very depth concept I have presented. Very depth subject I taught in the Lambak API. And one more video. For Java Bean Basics, guys. This is for Java Bean Basics. This is second one. Okay. To understand different types of Java Beans. What are those? VO class, DTO class, okay, BO class. BO class. BO class. Right. This is for Java Bean, guys. This is for Java Bean. You should complete, before I start coding off this mini project, you should complete watching of total 4 videos. Lambak API 2 videos. Are you understanding my point? And VO, BO, DTO 2 videos. Are you listening my statement? I already pasted in the chat box, please. I already pasted in the chat box, guys. Okay, listen carefully. Don't be panic, boss. Don't be panic. Always remember, if you want to get anything of my subject in the YouTube channel of Naresh IT, go to search box, type the topic name. Go to search box, type the topic name, Java Bean by Natraz. That's it. Java Bean by Natraz. Any topic you do it. Don't worry about URLs I am providing here. Right. Today at 9 o'clock, Log4j and SLF4j workshop is there. Log4j and SLF4j workshop is there. I think my people might have shared what, guys? Link yesterday. Again, I am giving link today. The session will continue up to 12:30. It's a part of the course. Any tool in Naresh IT free. It's a part of the course. You join any course of Java, you will get tools free. Okay. And someone is asking innocent question. Hibernate class is not there, sir. Not there. That's the question. Better not to ask such questions. Okay. Hibernate class is not there. JSP class is not there because one faculty cannot be there in two places. Right? Next class of Spring Boot will be on Monday. And a new advanced Java batch will be 21st June, 11 o'clock. Okay. 21st June, 11 o'clock. Hemanta, it will not be given as YouTube live streaming. You have to attend live class. Okay. Manoj Gupta, talk to admin. Okay. Rajesh Magar, if you observe Spring Basics, I have talked about some features related to Spring 5. Okay, more features will come in coming days. Okay, and my humble request is don't write lengthy messages in the chat box. Try to put your question in simple and short. Controller class dependent to client, common as property, we can get controller. I mean to say without calling ctx.getBean. Devansh, yes, you can do that, but where do you create IOC container? To do this entire injection somewhere else, we need what? IOC container. Where do you create IOC container? You will keep auto void, you keep @ component on the crop of classes. Injection will happen, but to do that injection, IOC container is required now, boss. Think about that. Charan, Log4j last workshop you attended, you may miss it, not a problem. Okay, guys. Mamata Thota, talk to admin and stop asking videos, attend live classes. Okay, in this batch also I will teach Spring Boot MVC. In this batch, Spring MVC will not be there. Spring Boot MVC will be there. Sumit Anand, go to Naresh IT YouTube channel, type the topic name and by Natraz you type, you will get the videos. Okay. Akra De, in the middle of the course, I will give videos of Spring AOP, Spring transaction. Not now. Okay. In the middle of the course, I will give once your prerequisites are ready. BK Kumar, if you have a Spring Basics, then only continue in this batch. If you don't have Spring Basics, don't come for this batch. Okay. Bindu Sagar, looking for backup videos, talk to admin. Okay, Sham E, dirty fellow, in standalone application, what is need of Tomcat server? Such a idiotic question that is. Okay, Rajesh Magar, in 6 PM batch, first Spring MVC, then Spring Boot MVC will be covered. Yeah, class is over, guys. Class is over. And the next topic is workshop that on Log4j at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Please collect from the chat box. Workshop link, collect from the chat box or in the group also that is there. Puli Tirupati Reddy, just delete M2 folder and try once or change workspace. Notes for tools is uploaded, sir. Because yes, while conducting class, notes will be prepared, my dear. How many sessions are required for advanced Java? 100 sessions. Design pattern course takes time. Okay. Spring AOP is not required to learn microservices. Spring AOP is not required for learning microservices. Yeah, once again, I am sharing Java Bean videos, guys. Bindusagar, they are not backup classes. Videos will be provided for Spring JDBC and Spring Transaction. Not now. Once your prerequisites are ready, then provided. Okay, guys. Right. Sabita, at the rate priority is there, maybe there, but but whether Spring is providing implementation or not, that is most important. BK Kumar, I will accept your request after the class. Sushil, Hikari CP is for normal databases, not for MongoDB. MongoDB is different. Suresh Boy, Lamba KPI videos you can see in the YouTube channel of Naresh IT. Go to YouTube channel of Naresh IT, search for Lamba KPI by Natras sir.